All right, so sometimes you're driving on a blazing hot day and you crank up the AC, wishing your car had like some kind of super-powered sun shield.
Yeah.
Well, window tinting, it's like the next best thing.
It really is.
And today we're really diving deep into, this is interesting, How to Tint Auto Glass and Flat Glass by Sami Erdem. We're going to uncover the what, the how, the why of this surprisingly cool craft, tinting.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to take you from, like you said, zero to tinting expert. And this book, it's just came out this year, and it's super comprehensive. I mean, they cover everything.
I was really impressed.
But we're going to break down, the most important and the most fun parts so you can impress all your friends. And who knows, maybe you'll even try some DIY tinting. You never know.
I'm thinking about it.
Right.
But first things first, I guess, what even is window tinting? Why should we even care? It's obviously more than just making your car look cool, right?
Yeah, you're right. It's definitely more than just aesthetics.
Right.
So at its heart, window tinting, it's applying a thin film right to the window. And what's great about this book is it just lays out all the different benefits. We're talking about energy savings, protecting your car from UV rays, privacy, even safety and security. It's pretty impressive.
So walk me through some of those benefits. How is this really gonna make my life better?
Okay, so picture this. It's the middle of summer, it's hot, but your car is nice and cool, like not an oven.
Right, because it's not 100 degrees inside.
Exactly. That's the magic of window tinting. It reflects those heat-causing infrared rays. It's like magic.
Really? Like it's that big of a difference?
Yeah, and you know how the sun, it can really do a number on your car's interior, all that fading, the cracking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is like sunscreen for your car. It's going to prevent that.
Okay, so no more burning my hands on the steering wheel. I'm sold. That's the main benefit I need.
That's a good one.
That's the one for me.
That's a good one. But we haven't even touched on security. Tinted windows, they make it tougher for people to see inside, so less likely to be a target for theft. And of course, there's the style. I mean, a nice sleek tint that can really elevate any car.
It's true. I will say, those older cars, though, that have the tint that's kind of turned purpley?
Right.
What is that? What happens there?
Oh, the dreaded purple tint.
Yeah.
The book, actually, that's interesting. It talks about that. And it turns out that it's the cheaper dyed films. Those are the main culprits. They're prone to fading, especially with all that sun exposure.
Yeah, makes sense.
But don't worry, there are ways around that. And the book explains it all, and some pretty cool alternatives out there.
Okay, good. Good to know. So it's not just a one-size-fits-all.
Oh, definitely not.
When it comes to this.
No. There's a lot. It's more than you think.
What are the different types of film that we should know about?
So think of it like choosing sunglasses, but for your windows, right?
Okay.
So you've got your basic dyed films. These are your budget-friendly option, good for reducing glare. And then you can upgrade to the metallized films.
Uh-huh.
And they're packed with all these tiny metallic particles.
Wow.
That reflect heat and those UV rays like nobody's business.
So they're like those super, sporty sunglasses?
Exactly.
Like the athletes wear?
Yeah. Although, there can be one downside. Sometimes they can interfere with electronics.
Oh, really?
Like, remember that GPS glitch you were talking about?
Yeah, it's my car, yeah.
It could be the metallized tint.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's possible.
I had no idea.
And then you've got the top of the line, the ceramic films.
Okay.
Use ceramic particles.
Yeah.
And those are all about that pure heat and UV blocking power, no interference.
Oh, very nice. But those are probably the most expensive.
Yeah, you get what you pay for, right?
Right.
But there's also hybrid films, which combine the dyed and the metallized for kind of a balanced approach.
Yeah.
Less reflective, but still really good at blocking the heat.
Wow, this is way more to window tinting than I ever thought. But before I go out and just turn my car into a shady oasis, there's got to be some legal stuff, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We got to talk about that.
Before you even buy anything, you got to do your research.
Okay.
Because the regulations about how dark you can go, those change everywhere. Every state is different.
Yeah, it's like how much light can pass through it. Right. What was that called? Was it VLT?
You got it. VLT. Visible light transmission. That's your new favorite term.
I love it already.
So it's a percentage, and it tells you how much light's getting through. So lower VLT means a darker tint. And that's where those laws come in. Every state, sometimes even counties, they have limits on the VLT, especially for windshields and those front side windows, driver visibility.
That makes sense, so I've seen those cars that they're blacked out, you can't see in at all.
Right.
Are they just really pushing it?
Yeah, they're probably pushing the limits. And there are rules about reflectivity too. You don't want to blind other drivers out there on the road.
That's very true.
And luckily, the book, it has a whole section on where you can find all those local regulations.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, this is important stuff because getting pulled over for illegal tint, not fun.
No, not at all.
Not on my list.
So, okay, we've done our legal research. We're in the clear. We're good to go. What's next?
All right, time to get our hands dirty.
Right.
Time to prep like the pros.
All right, let's do it. Hit me with your best tools of the trade. I'm ready to transform my garage, right, into a professional tinting operation.
All right, so we're going to transform that garage, huh?
Yes.
Into a DIY tinting haven.
Let's do it.
Yeah, and the book, it really dives deep on the tools.
Okay.
And it's surprisingly specific, which I appreciate,
Right.
It's not just about having a squeegee.
Right.
It's about having the right squeegee.
Okay, so like my rusty old squeegee from the back of the shelf
Oh, yeah.
is not gonna cut it.
Unless you want, streaks and bubbles,
Oh, no thank you.
not a good look. We need those tools just as sharp as our skills, right?
Right.
So the book breaks it down. The different squeegees, like hard ones for those tricky edges, rubber ones for smoothing the bigger sections. It's all about the right tool for the job.
Okay. It's almost like a tinting toolkit.
It is. It's very official.
What else are we talking about here?
So you'll need your film, obviously, sharp utility knife, spray bottles, cleaning cloths, pretty standard.
Okay.
But here's the tool that separates the amateurs from the pros, the heat gun.
Oh, the heat gun. Okay.
The heat gun.
I knew this was serious business, but a heat gun.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds intimidating, but awesome.
It is both of those things.
Okay.
And this is where things get, really kind of fun.
Huh.
This is essential, the heat gun. For shrinking the film
Mm-hmm.
to fit those curved windows. It's imagine shrink wrapping, but for your car.
Okay, so you're telling me, hold on, you mold the tint to the window with heat.
You got it, but it takes practice. Yeah, the book actually recommends practicing on scrap pieces of film first, just to get a feel for it, because you need that sweet spot with the heat. Too much, you damage the film. Too little, it won't mold right.
Wow. It's like you're wielding this tiny little flamethrower.
Yeah, it's powerful stuff.
Okay. I'm even more nervous now, but even more excited to try it.
That's the spirit.
Yeah.
So before we even think about applying the film, we got to prep the windows themselves, and I'll warn you, this is where a lot of DIYers, they go wrong.
Okay, let me guess. A quick wipe with some Windex is not going to cut it.
Nope,
Right.
not even close, because the book stresses this: a clean window, that is the foundation, the bedrock
Right.
of a flawless tint job.
Yeah.
So we're talking dust-free, streak-free,
Yeah.
spotless. And here's the kicker. The book recommends using, you're going to love this, baby shampoo.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
The tear-free for actual babies? Baby shampoo.
The one and only.
What?
Yeah, apparently a few drops of that in your cleaning solution, it works wonders.
Really?
Helps the film adhere perfectly. No streaks, who knew?
Okay, that's a pro tip. I never would have guessed that.
Right.
Okay, so my windows are prepped, my tools are ready. Walk me through it. What's step one?
Okay, so first I want you to picture yourself as a surgeon, right?
Okay.
Prepping for a major operation.
Hmm.
Your workspace, it needs to be spotless. No dust bunnies allowed.
No dust bunnies.
Because even the tiniest speck of dust that can get trapped under the film and just ruin that smooth finish.
Okay, workspace, check, and check again for dust. Exactly. All right, so now carefully peel the backing off the film, just like you would with a sticker.
Okay.
Steady hand. For this part, the film, it can be a little delicate.
I can imagine this is the part where I need a sedative,
I know, right? But listen, practice makes perfect.
Okay.
So once that backing's off, you're gonna lightly miss the window with that special solution,
Okay.
right? And this just prevents it from sticking too soon.
Okay.
And then it's all about carefully positioning that film on the window,
Okay.
making sure it's lined up nice and straight.
So this is where all that those extra inches that we left, around the edges.
Yes.
This is where that comes in handy.
It's like a safety net.
Right. It's way easier to trim off excess film than to try and stretch a piece that's too small, remember? Measure twice, cut once.
Words to live by, seriously.
Seriously. All right, so film's in place. What's next?
Okay, what's next? Do I just start smoothing it out?
Not just yet. So you're going to use that trusty squeegee to apply the film from the center out.
Okay.
And this just pushes out any air bubbles. Ensures that nice, smooth, even application.
Okay, so this is where my inner perfectionist is really coming out.
I love it.
Any tips for avoiding those, like, dreaded bubbles?
Yeah, patience, my friend.
Okay.
Patience is key here. Going slowly and methodically, that's the name of the game. And don't be afraid to lift and readjust the film if you need to.
Yeah.
That's what that solution's for. It lets you reposition without, causing any damage.
So it's like this delicate dance between pressure, patience, knowing when to readjust.
You got it. You're a natural. And this is where our friend the heat gun
Okay.
comes back into play
Here we go.
for those curved windows.
Okay.
So you gently heat the film as you go, and this lets it stretch, mold around those curves.
Okay, it's like magic, shrink wrapping a car. This is amazing.
It's pretty cool, right?
It is cool.
But again, it's all about that balance with the heat.
Right.
So once that film's applied, no bubbles, time for the final touch.
The trim.
Time to break out that utility knife.
Exactly. Carefully trim off that excess film around the edges. Make it look all nice and clean and professional.
There's something so satisfying about a perfectly trimmed edge.
Oh, I agree. I'm with you on that one.
So satisfying. But while that covers, like, the basic application, there's a really important step. We can't forget curing. Can't rush this part.
Right. We don't want all that hard work to go to waste. So what's curing?
So think of it like, you paint something, you let it dry completely
Right.
so it doesn't smudge.
Right.
Curing is like that for window tint. It's the time it takes for the adhesive to bond with the window. And it takes a little while, usually a few days.
So no rolling the windows down.
Not for a few days at least, let it do its thing.
Gotcha.
Because rushing it, that's when you get peeling, the bubbling, all the stuff we're trying to avoid.
So patience is like the theme of this whole deep dive.
It is. It really is. And, just like with mastering patience, there are levels to this whole window tinting game. Remember I mentioned those, like, advanced techniques earlier?
Oh,
Get ready to have your mind blown. Because we're going to unlock the secrets of layering the films, decorative options, even some pro tips
Okay.
to really take your skills to the next level.
All right, hit me with it. Let's go. Okay, so we've got the basics. We've mastered being patient, which is apparently like half the battle.
All right, that's huge. That's huge.
Okay, so now it's time for the really fun stuff, I think. Advanced tinting techniques, the stuff that's going to make our DIY projects look like actually professionally done. What hidden, like, pro tips are we talking about here?
All right, so you know how we were saying the heat gun's super important for those curved windows?
Yeah.
The book goes deep into how the pros use it
Okay.
with, like, insane precision. It's like they can sense the perfect temperature, the airflow, just by, like, looking at the curve. It's kind of amazing.
So it's like, you said it takes practice, but it's more than that. It's like a finesse thing.
Exactly. It's like this dance between the heat, the pressure, knowing how far you can push that film. The book compares it to sculpting.
Oh, wow.
You're like molding that tint to the shape of the window.
That makes so much more sense because, you see those DIY attempts with like a hairdryer.
Right. Please don't do that.
We're not doing that, yeah.
Yeah, those never turn out well.
I know.
And speaking of professional, the book, it actually talks about how a real pro's workspace, it's a thing of beauty.
Okay.
Everything is, like, meticulously organized for maximum efficiency.
Wow.
All the tools perfectly arranged. The surfaces are covered to avoid any scratches. They clean as they go. It's a mindset.
So it's not just the tools, it's not just the techniques, it's like cultivating this mindset.
Absolutely, yeah. It's like a clean, organized workspace equals a clean, precise tint job.
I like that.
Fewer mistakes that way.
That makes sense. Okay. What else? What other, like, pro secrets can we steal?
So the book also talks about, mastering those tiny details.
Okay.
Because the pros, they're all about spotting and then fixing those little imperfections, the ones that most people wouldn't even see. A speck of dust under the film, a tiny bubble in a weird spot. They're all about that flawless result.
Like they have X-ray vision for window tint imperfections.
Exactly. They know what to look for,
Wow. Okay, so it is, experience obviously plays a part in that, right? Being able to spot those things.
Of course.
But it sounds like the book can at least give you a head start on what to look for.
Absolutely. Tons of practical tips, troubleshooting advice that even if you're a beginner, you can really up your game.
Perfect. Okay, that's super helpful, like having a tinting mentor right there in your pocket.
Right in your pocket.
Okay. Now, what about those, like, really advanced techniques?
Oh, yeah.
You were talking about layering films. Tell me more about that.
Okay, so get because this is where you can get really creative. Okay? Layering films, it's like creating a custom cocktail but for your windows.
Okay.
So you could start with a base layer of, let's say, a high-performance ceramic, right?
Yeah.
Maximum heat rejection. Then you add a layer of like a darker tint for more privacy.
Wow, so you're really customized. It's not even just like one and done. You're like, I want this, I need that.
Exactly, you're dialing it in, yeah. And it's not just about function. You can even get artistic with it, with decorative films.
No, really? Okay.
So think like frosted glass patterns, geometric designs. You can even do custom logos.
I had no idea.
Oh yeah, the possibilities are kind of endless.
So you're turning your windows into art.
Exactly, yeah, form and function.
This is so cool. This book has like completely changed how I see window tinting. It's so much more than just making your car look cool. It's like a skill. It's like art. It's science.
It really is. It's amazing how something that seems so simple on the surface is actually so intricate and detailed,
Yeah, no, I'm with you. So for those listening who are ready to give DIY tinting a try,
Yeah.
this book, Sami Erdem's book, you need it, honestly.
It's the Bible.
It's so thorough, it's well written, you'll actually feel confident to try this.
You will. After all this, I'm curious, for you, is window tinting more of an art? Is it a science? Or is it like both?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think it needs the precision, the knowledge of science,
Right.
but also you need that eye. You need the artistry to really execute it well.
Right, like you said, that attention to detail, that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, so it's both, for sure.
First off, I think so too.
Well, I think we've both gained a newfound appreciation
I agree.
for this whole craft.
Absolutely.
And who knows, maybe we'll
Put our skills to the test.
put those skills to the test, show them what we've learned. You never know.
I'm holding you to that.
All right. But for now, that wraps up our deep dive into the surprisingly fascinating world of window tinting. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thanks for having me.
And remember, next time you see a tinted window, you'll know there's a lot more to it than meets the eye.
Way more.
Until next time, keep those windows sparkling and your curiosity piqued.